She was just 13 years old, a child with a backpack, a routine, and a future that should have been ordinary. In the morning Madeline Soto didn't come home. Nothing felt immediately wrong. No shattered glass. No screaming neighbors. No frantic phone calls at dawn. Just absence. And one question that would soon tear through a Florida community. How does a child disappear without anyone noticing right away? Madeline Soto lived in Central Florida. She was a middle school student, quiet to some, bright to others, known to her family as a girl who loved music, friends, and the small freedoms that come with growing up. She wasn't known as a runaway. She wasn't in trouble. She wasn't living on the margins. She had routines, school schedules, adults around her who were supposed to protect her. That's what made what came next so unsettling. Madeline was last seen on a weekday morning. She left home as usual. Backpack, shoes, nothing appeared unusual. But she never arrived where she was supposed to be. By the time concern turned into fear, hours had already passed. When her disappearance was finally reported, investigators initially approached it like many missing child cases. Interviews, timelines, retracing steps. But the answers didn't line up. Law enforcement moved quickly once the seriousness became clear. Search teams canvassed neighborhoods. K-9 units were deployed. Schools were checked. Surveillance footage was pulled. Every minute mattered. But the trail didn't lead outward. It folded inward, back toward the people closest to Madeline. As detectives pieced together Madeline's final movements, inconsistencies emerged. Small details, timing issues, stories that shifted subtly. Not enough to accuse, but enough to slow down. And in child cases, delay is dangerous. Investigators began to look closely at Madeline's home environment, her relationships, and the adults responsible for her care. This was no longer just a missing child case. It was becoming something else. Then came the moment every investigator dreads. Evidence surfaced suggesting Madeline was not simply missing. She was dead. Authorities announced the case was now being treated as a homicide. Florida media erupted. Parents across the state asked the same question. How could this happen without warning? A suspect was identified. An adult male with direct access to Madeline. Someone investigators believed knew her routines, movements, and vulnerabilities. He was arrested and formally charged. Authorities were careful with their language. An arrest is not a conviction. Charges are allegations. Every defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But the evidence, prosecutors said, was serious. The shock spread fast. This was not a stranger lurking in the shadows. This was someone close. The charges outlined a disturbing narrative. They alleged prolonged access, exploitation of trust, and actions taken to conceal what happened. Prosecutors emphasized this was not a crime of impulse. It was alleged to be a crime of opportunity enabled by proximity. That detail mattered, because it forced a terrifying realization. The danger didn't come from outside. It was already inside the child's world. Schools held vigils. Counselors were brought in. Parents walked their children to class longer than usual. Madeline's name became more than a headline. It became a warning. How many children are surrounded by adults, yet still alone? How many signs are missed because life feels normal? As of this recording, the accused has been charged. Court proceedings are ongoing. No verdict has been reached. No sentence has been imposed. The case remains in the hands of the justice system. And that matters, because true crime isn't about rushing to judgment. It's about facts, accountability, and truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Madeline Soto's case is not isolated. Across the United States, child homicide cases overwhelmingly involve someone the child knows. A caregiver, a family member, a trusted adult. These crimes don't announce themselves with warning sirens. They hide behind routine, behind trust, behind silence. Madeline was not just a victim. She was a child who should have been protected. Her case forces hard questions. Are warning signs taken seriously? Do systems intervene early enough? Do we believe children when they feel unsafe? Because prevention doesn't start after a crime. It starts before. Even with an arrest, questions remain. Could intervention have happened sooner? Were opportunities missed? What lessons will actually change policy? Not just headlines. Justice is a process. And sometimes accountability comes too late. Madeline Soto is remembered not for how she died, but for who she was. A girl with a name, a life, a future that mattered. And that matters now more than ever. Because remembering her is not about fear. It's about responsibility. The murder of Madeline Soto is a reminder that danger doesn't always look dangerous. Sometimes it looks familiar. Sometimes it lives where children are supposed to be safest. And sometimes, the silence around us is the loudest warning of all. Thank you for watching Silent Evidence, True Crime Exposed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time for another chilling true story.